Divers from oil companies located within the North Sea have been discovering the remains of a drowned ancient city, which once spanned from the UK all the way to Denmark. An ancient city so massive its suspected population has been estimated well into the tens of thousands. A team of climatologists, archaeologists, and geophysicists have now successfully mapped the area, which has revealed just how vast and expansive this once lost land once was. Many specialists are now claiming this was once the real heartland of Europe. This enormous civilization is now believed to have dated back to some 8,000 years ago, and that the landmass was submerged over a period of several thousand years, a submersion which began some 20,000 years prior. Dr. Richard Bates of the Department of Earth Sciences at St. Andrews, who organized the Drowned Landscapes exhibit covering the finds within the UK, says the data reveals the human story behind Doggerland, a now submerged city of the North Sea that was once larger than many modern European countries. Could these discoveries reveal Doggerland as the real lost city of Atlantis? Several hypotheses have placed the sunken island of Atlantis within modern northern Europe. Most noted among such researchers is Olaus Rudbeck, who suspected that Doggerland, as well as a Viking Bergen island, which is thought to have been flooded by a mega tsunami following the Storegga slide in 6100 BC, is the real location of Atlantis, a proposition he put forward all the way back in the 1600s. Some have proposed the Celtic Shelf as a possible location, and that there are certainly links to Ireland. Many places have been put forward for the possible location of the sunken city throughout the years, yet none have revealed ruins worthy of such claims, many of these areas being too small to have housed such an enormous city. Doggerland, however, fits the bill. Not only could it turn out to be the largest ancient civilization found on Earth, but it also rests in a possible location based on historical research for the city of Atlantis. It was submerged at one point in its history, and it is revealing astonishing ruins of a once great and presently unknown civilization. Dr. Bates, a geophysicist, said Doggerland was the real heartland of Europe until sea levels rose to give us the UK coastline of today. We've speculated for years on the lost land's existence, from bones dredged by fishermen all over the North Sea, but it's only since working with oil companies in the last few years that we've been able to recreate what this lost land looked like. When the data was first being processed, I thought it unlikely to give us any useful information. However, as more area was covered, it revealed a vast and complex landscape. We have now been able to model its flora and fauna, build up a picture of the ancient people that lived there, and begin to understand some of the dramatic events that subsequently changed the land, including the sea rising and a devastating tsunami. The research project is a collaboration between St. Andrews and the universities of Aberdeen, Birmingham, Dundee, and Wales Trinity St. David.
First dug from the ground in 2011, it took 6 years of painstaking conservation work to reveal this stunning 110 million year old dinosaur fossil, which was first exhibited at Canada's Royal Tyrrell Museum in 2017. The well-preserved Boreolopelta fossil is of special interest as the Boreolopelta was a land animal, but the fossil remains were found in what used to be a sea. Indeed, at the time of the Boreolopelta's existence, the nearest land was some 125 miles away. Moreover, it's thought a flood may have taken the specimen out to sea. The first fragments of the Dead Sea Scrolls were discovered as early as the 1940s in the desert of Judea by Bedouin shepherds. However, new discoveries are still being made. One such was in 2017, after the unearthing of an entire new cave was announced by the Hebrew University of Jerusalem. Artifacts in the cave included storage jars from the Second Temple period, 530 BC to 70 AD. This is one of the most exciting archaeological discoveries and the most important in the last 60 years in the caves of Qumran, said archaeologist Dr. Oren Gutfeld. If you'd been around 130 million years ago, you'd have seen lots of dinosaurs passing through a sandy delta in what is now Western Australia's Kimberley region. And thanks to the preservative qualities of those damp sands, in 2017, archaeologists from the University of Queensland announced the discovery of footprints from 21 different sorts of dinosaur. But what really stood out was the print of a sauropod, which measured an astonishing 5 foot 9 inches long. It's thought to be the largest dinosaur track ever discovered. The one handwritten parchment copy of the Declaration of Independence from 1776 resides at the National Archives in Washington. But it turns out there's another copy from the 1780s in the archive of the West Sussex Records Office in Chichester, England. And intriguingly, the 56 signatures on that one are ordered differently. Harvard academics theorize that this different order has a political motivation, a desire to emphasize that those signing the document were present as individuals and not as representatives of states. For some 220 years, up until 1853, Japan had a policy of isolation. Known as sakuko, it meant that Japanese citizens could not leave the country and foreigners could not enter it. To this end, an enduring story that European pirates had visited Japan in 1830 was widely dismissed as a myth. But in 2017, an English amateur researcher named Nick Russell discovered records that show that a ship called the Cyprus did actually visit the closed country. It seems that convicts, led by one William Swallow, hijacked the vessel from Australian waters and sailed to Japan. An article published by Nature in June of 2017 revealed that some fossils from a Moroccan cave were the oldest examples of Homo sapiens ever to have been discovered, and these fossil remains appear to turn conventional wisdom about the spread of man on its head. Until their discovery, researchers believed that humans had fanned out from East Africa about 200,000 years ago, but the Moroccan fossils have been dated to as early as 300,000 years ago, indicating that humans left East Africa much earlier than previously thought. Link between modern Lebanese and ancient Canaanites. The ancient Canaanites lived some 4,000 years ago and are best known because they figure frequently in the Old Testament. In the Bible, they're described as living by the sea and along by the Sea of Jordan, an area that roughly coincides with modern Lebanon. Scientists had long thought that the ancient Canaanites must have been absorbed by integration with other Middle Eastern peoples. But astonishingly, genetic analysis carried out in 2017 shows that modern Lebanese people share 93% of their DNA with the ancient Canaanites. Cape Adare was a base camp used by British explorer Captain Robert Scott during his ill-fated Antarctic expedition between 1910 and 1913. In 2017, researchers